What's up, guys? Mike here, head trader at True Trading Group. September 18th, home run short in Roku. We've been talking in chat for the last maybe 3 days about a bear flag pattern on the daily chart on Roku. That is the basis of this video. We're going to talk about how to short bear flags and what level specifically is your area that you can look to short these bear flag patterns, and where you can set your stop losses and how to manage your risk on that trade, and how to know you're going to get follow through, you're going to get continuation. And really, we're going to break down this bear flag setup in Roku because it was picture perfect. Okay, I shorted the actual stock itself, but we had a lot of members today in chat that bought put options in Roku. We actually had one member, Matt. I'm not sure if you're watching this video or not. I know he's subscribed to the YouTube channel, but actually doubled his account today in Roku put options. So a huge congratulations to him. But guys, this Roku short was really picture perfect. It was a thing of beauty. We talked about it yesterday. This 153 resistance area. I didn't pull the trigger on this trade yesterday. Matt actually did. Matt got put options on the trade yesterday, and then the gap down today, then the continuation move lower. That's how we doubled his account. It was a huge home run trade. But I just entered the trade this morning, shorted it to the actual stock itself, and caught a home run. So we're going to talk about that. I added a little bit to the day later on with some SPY options off the Fed announcement, and I gave a little bit of profit back in trading drip. But all in all, guys, a big day, and it really is all goes down. And I have this Roku short to thank for it. So let's get down to this bear flag setup and let's talk about this, because it's a very clean setup. You guys can really learn a lot about this pattern as we kind of go through this. So here is Roku, okay, the daily chart. Here you guys can see your bear flag pattern. Here's your flagpole, okay, and then here, actually let me use a horizontal line so I can get the price point right. Okay. Here's your horizontal resistance, and then here's your uptrend support. Here is your bear flag, okay? Strong move lower, small little consolidation bounce, and here's your break and continuation lower. Notice heavy volume on the flagpole, lower volume in the flag. That is picture perfect volume on this trade setup. And we started to notice this setup a couple of days ago, looking for this bear flag pattern to form. We found resistance on Monday. We found resistance on Tuesday, right at the top end of this bear flag setup. And today we had a gap down below this support level. This is where I went after Roku. I had two main focuses today. One, short Roku, and then keep things nice and tight to get ready for the Fed meeting. And then I'll be looking at SPY options off the Fed meeting with the rate cut and Powell speaking. So those are my two main focuses today. So I really didn't have much else to focus on off the bell except this Roku. And we came up with a very specific game plan on where we're going to look to enter this Roku short. And that's what takes me to how you can really look to execute and trade a bear flag pattern, and levels that you can look for to set your stop loss and manage your risk appropriately on this pattern. So let's go to, I'm going to leave this support level up here. Let's go to a 3-minute chart and let's pan this out. What I want you guys to, well, let's go to a 15-minute chart. It's a little bit easier for you to see. Okay, so here we are, this 15-minute chart, and what I want you to notice, okay, let me adjust this line so I can get the pricing. Okay, there we go. And now what I want you to notice here is look at this level at 146. See how you have this support that's yesterday's low, and then it's also Monday's double bottom low. So you see we have this little support area here around 146 inside of the flag. Yesterday's low and Monday's double bottom low. Then you have this uptrend support line that makes up, okay, the bottom part of that bear flag. Here, as I zoom out, you guys can see here's the bear flag, okay? There it is. So here's the uptrend support line on the bottom end of that flag. Notice how this little support area at 146 lines up with that uptrend support level on the bear flag. That is why the game plan coming into the day, we talked about it in chat today, was looking for a push to 146, rejection, roll it over. Why 146? That's the premise of this whole video. Why 146? And again, here you have yesterday's low support, Monday's double bottom low, so you have a little support level that is significant inside the flag, and then you have this uptrend support level. When a bear flag pattern triggers, it gets below that uptrend support line. Let's go back to the daily chart, okay? When a bear flag gets below this uptrend support line, you should not see it get back above that level, and you should not see it get back inside the flag pattern. It should get rejected if it tries to get back up into the flag and then roll it over. That is why we talked about 146, okay? That's why we talked about 146. So here's the 146 line that I have drawn right across my screen, okay? So right off the bell, okay, we opened up and we pushed right up to 146. As we get up to that 146 level, I'm thinking to myself, right here is my opportunity to get short. And at this point, the risk reward on this trade was unbelievable. I was risking about $1.50 to potentially make $15. Okay, my target on this trade was around 130. So I'm risking $1.50 to make 15. That's insane risk reward, and it all comes back from this this $146 level, which was, here's your support. You guys can see it right here. Okay, now this is a 3-minute chart. So here's double bottom low on Monday. Here's the low of the day yesterday, and here's that uptrend support line. So in that quick push up there to 146, I'm getting short, okay? And I entered this trade short, the actual stock itself. Right there, I'll take you guys to my trade announcements on the day. Here you guys can see short ROKU at 145.21, just 2 minutes into the day. Okay, risking about $1.50. Okay, risking about $1.50. And you can see right away we got rejected at that level, sold off very aggressively. Heavy volume on that sell-off, guys, on the way down. And the first take profit target was right in front of 140. There's my first take profit. Back to my trade announcements. Took some off. I covered 25% of the position at 140.73. Why 140? Let's go to the daily chart. The reason why I covered 25% of the position at 140 is because of that low, the low of the bear flag. That's going to be your first target. When a stock breaks out of the flag, your first target should be the low of the flag. Okay, so on that move down to 140, that's why I took 25% of my position off the table right there. Okay, then you see we broke through 140, we extended lower. I covered the bulk of my position, 50% of the position, at 137.83. And now I can very comfortably hold on to the rest of this position and see if I get a move down towards 130. Why 130? Back to the daily chart. Okay, and as you guys see here, it's like 128 to 130. You had the 50-day moving average sitting here, and you had this previous little support level sitting here. So that's why I was looking for a move down into that area. I jumped out maybe a little. I jumped out a little too soon. I covered the last piece of my position around 131 and change. We ended up getting down to 128. So I left a couple bucks on the table, but guys, I can't complain. This is a huge short. You guys can see final take profit. Okay, at 11:29 a.m. covered ROKU at 139. Excuse me, 131.68. There it is. 131.68 from the 145.21 entry. Just a home run trade. Back to the 3-minute. I'll take you guys, show you where the actual execution was. It was right there. And then you guys can see we continued lower. Okay, we got all the way down to 128. Okay, so here's the trade. Oh, what I want to point out to you too is this 140 level. So remember we talked about 140 being potential support. You see we broke below it, and then look what happened here. became resistance. We couldn't get back above 140. VWAP even came into play, this orange line on my screen, to add some extra level of resistance. And we just pushed this thing right down to new lows. And then the sell-off really started to speed up as we accelerated lower towards my profit target. I did not expect ROKU to get this low today. When I entered this trade, I was intending to hold this last piece overnight. I did not think we were going to get down to 128, 130 today. So I was actually quite surprised at how weak ROKU was. You had, I think it was Comcast, said that they're offering free streaming to customers. There was also some stuff about Facebook TV. And so the Comcast, I believe it was Comcast, doing free streaming. That's really what would really hurt ROKU today. And then that's why you had this huge sell-off. But we had this technical setup on the bear flag. It was picture perfect, guys. It was an absolute thing of beauty. And you can really learn a lot from this trade, because this is a textbook bear flag setup on the daily chart, and it's a textbook bear flag entry. Because like I said, you do not want to see the stock get back up into the flag after you break below it. So the gap down today gave us the opportunity to get short in front of the flag. As the stock made a push back to try to get back up towards the flag, we were able to get short right in front of it, expecting that failure and resistance, and it rolled over, and it rolled over big time. Okay, and that's how we got the home run trade. So that's how we started the day. It was a big win. Guys, watch this video again. I mean, this is for those of you that like to short. This is a really, really good example of shorting bear flags. And what I also want to point out to you, okay, we'll go to a 15-minute chart just so it's a little bit easier for you to see. Okay, here's the top end of the bear flag. Look at this level. This is the resistance. Okay, that's the top end of the bear flag. Matt, who I was telling about earlier, who actually doubled his account today, he entered ROKU put options right there yesterday, and then caught that huge move down. That's how he doubled his account today. Again, Matt, congrats, bro. Sick trading today. And you can see here, it's a little bit of previous support back here on the 10th, and resistance, 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 and then we just rolled this thing over. So really great stuff, guys. I'll give you a quick little touch upon the SPY trade. I traded some SPY options. Caught a nice gain on them, but I didn't get the move that I was actually looking for. So the SPY, I actually posted a video on Twitter today ahead of the SPY, ahead of the Fed announcement. Today was Fed rate decision day. Decide if they were going to cut rates or not. They did. They cut 25 basis points. And I posted a video on my Twitter. If you guys don't follow me, go to @MikeEdward_TTG. All right, that's my Twitter. So I posted a video on there before the Fed announcement, talking about what I expected, what I was looking for, how I was game planning, how I planned on trading this announcement. And I said, if we get no cut, if the Fed stays unchanged, I think we sell off pretty hard. Then I said, even if we get a 25-point basis cut, I think we still could sell off, because you have to wait for Fed Chairman Powell to speak and see if he insinuates that this is the last cut. If he thinks that this is the last cut, then even with the quarter-point cut, we could sell off. So I was looking at SPY put options on deck. Okay, that's what was going to be my focus. Right off the Fed announcement, they came out with a quarter-point cut. Okay, we spiked higher. Okay, we spiked higher off that announcement, and then I'm looking at what was the vote. It was a 7-3 vote to cut the quarter point, but they were split on if they think we need more cuts in the future, and we're done. This is the last one. The Fed is split. They were undecided on that. They're split. There was not really a majority that said, we need more cuts. They were split. And that uncertainty is what I thought was going to send us lower. So right here, okay, right there, after this big spike up, we actually found resistance right at the high of the day in the SPY. So here's the high of the day in the SPY right off the Fed announcement. Okay, so, and then we started to pull all the way back in very aggressively, and that's when I jumped in some put options on the SPY. I take you guys here. The 300 strike today expirations at $1.09. Okay, that's where I grabbed them. and then we started to sell off a little bit here as that uncertainty, the market started to read that uncertainty, that split in the Fed, that maybe we're not going to get any more cuts, and the market starts to sell off, and I started to peel some profits on this off the table. There's my first take profit, guys, at $1.52, and then my second take profit at $1.73, and then now at this point, Fed Chairman Powell is speaking, and what I'm looking for now is for him to say something that really insinuates that cutting rates is over with. He beat around the bush so bad. I mean, this guy danced around this question. He gave his whole speech, didn't really say anything about cutting rates more or not cutting rates anymore, to totally beat around the bush. Then it came down to the Q&A session, and the very first question, the first two questions actually were extremely direct. Okay, I mean, these reporters were really hammering this guy to try to get this answer out of him, because this is what the market wanted. Are you done cutting? Is this a mid-cycle adjustment? Are you still, is the Fed still easing biased? Are you going to cut more? Is this the end? And he danced around the question every single time. Okay, then later on in the Q&A session, he started to say some things that were more geared along the lines of, we're going to do what we have to keep this expansion going, and started to use some language that insinuated that if we need to, we're going to cut again. And we finally started to get some of that clarity, and that's why you see the market really rally back and ended up making new highs, and the SPY actually went green on the day, and I got flat right there at $1.14. So here you guys can see I'm long at $1.09, 25% off $1.52, half off $1.73, 25% off $1.14. And that's how I was able to add to my gains on the day. But I was really looking for us to roll over. I was looking for us to really roll over when he started speaking, because I was looking for him to insinuate that they were done cutting. But that's not what we got. Market bounced back. But I'm so happy I was able to pull 59% out in the bulk of the position. So it was a nice way to add to the day. But the real story of the day, guys, is ROKU. That's what I want you to take away from this video. That's the lesson I want you to really focus on the most. And it's, the same concept applies to bull flags the other way around, but this just so happened to be a textbook bear flag. We jumped all over it. It was a home run, and I'm stoked about it. I'm going to celebrate tonight. I'm going to go have a cigar and a scotch. So I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow, and we'll look to keep this momentum going. Take care, everybody.